Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We are doing another book review as I always do. This one is actually a cowboy romance. This is Between the Pines by Amber Palmer. Now, this is another independently published author. Again, I always say I love supporting independently published authors because they have a harder time breaking out into the space. They don't have a big publishing house to back their marketing budget. It's all themselves. I discovered her because I think it was a recommendation through TikTok when I looked at a video. I was recommending a bunch of different cowboy romance books, and this was one of them. I actually enjoyed this one. I think I did give it like 4.5 stars. It wasn't like my favorite cowboy romance I've ever read, but I did enjoy it, and I did buy the rest of the series, so I'm excited to read the rest of the series. So, like I said, I give this one 4.5 stars. Some of the major tropes in this one are forced proximity. I would say like one night stand, but it was more like a 5 night stand. But forced proximity, because they kind of like end up working together and being like living close together at some point. um but it also has, like, in my opinion, I would say this is like a good second chance romance. Like, it's not like a more traditional second chance romance, but I do feel like it kind of is. Like, they weren't really like together like a couple in the beginning because it was like 5 days they were together before she like ran off, but it does have that sort of like second chance aspect to it. So this follows Josie and Lincoln, and Josie basically is at a rodeo because her boyfriend, who soon becomes her ex-boyfriend, does something on horses. He's not a barrel racer, so I don't know what other thing he does. I don't remember. But she basically, oh yes, it follows Josie Hayes and Lincoln Carter. So Josie Hayes catches her boyfriend cheating on her, so she's just like, I gotta go. So she ends up going to Tennessee, where her family has a like cabin that they sometimes stay at, but she hasn't been at in a while. But she stops on her way there to a bar that's like in the town, right near the cabin, and she ends up sitting at the bar ordering a drink from Lincoln Carter, and who is like the bartender and like kind of like part owner of the bar in some sense. And they end up like having a whirlwind like 5 days, just having fun, and then she ends up feeling like, well, I can't stay in Tennessee. Like, this is not where I'm from. This is not where I'm meant to be. I'm meant to be at like my father's ranch working for him. Even though it's wonderful what I've had with Lincoln Carter, he's staying here. Like, I'm just gonna. So she ends up and leaving. So she leaves him a little note, and doesn't think she'll like ever see him again. Then we fast forward like I think a year later, and she's working at her father's ranch, and he's about to start a like a camp, or sort of like a camp where people come and learn like how like a ride a horse for like the specific type of riding they do. Again, don't ask me, I don't remember right now. um and they hire somebody new. They hire somebody new to be like another trainer, because their father is getting older and needs help and can't just be the sole trainer. So at these like boot camps that are like 2 weeks long each in the summer, lo and behold, it's Lincoln Carter that comes. And we later on learn that he was sent there because the guy that I think it's Frank is the name, who owns the bar that he worked at, like found the girl that he had been, because he only knew Josie by her first name. He didn't know her last name. And so the owner of the bar was like, I found your girl that just like up and left. This is Josie Hayes. And then Frank ended up being friends with Josie Hayes' father. Was like, hey, I think Lincoln Carter should come work at your ranch. That may be good for your daughter and stuff, and kind of mentioned something a little bit, hinted at it, but didn't really say that they had like a whirlwind 5 days. And then Frank eventually passes away, so Lincoln ends up going to the ranch and is working there for the summer. Eventually, Josie's father offers him a full-time position at the ranch. He takes it, but he arrives at the ranch and Josie is dating somebody else. But he can tell throughout like being there for a little bit that Josie like isn't really super happy in the relationship that she's in, and we can see that as well from Josie's perspective. She just feels like the guy that she's with is just like, maybe she's not really meant for somebody to truly like fall in love with. That whoever she's with is like, this is just simple, easy, like expected. But then she like can't really stay away from Lincoln. I keep holding up the cover, like you can see the characters, but there's no character on the cover. And they ended up like, her boyfriend ended up going out to a bar. Her sisters, another guy, I don't remember his name right now, and Lincoln, and ended up going to a bar, and then her boyfriend kept like calling her and texting her, but she won't know that she's gonna break up with him. And so she just like shuts off her phone, doesn't answer his texts or calls. And then he shows up at the bar, and she's like, kind of, we're over, we're done. And he like won't stop holding onto her wrist. And so then Linky comes up and like punches him and like, stay away from her and don't say the things that you're saying about her. And her ex is trying to be now like, oh, we're just gonna come home and you'll like sleep it off and all that. And once you're like not drunk, well, meanwhile her ex is now drunk. And then they fall in love, and he ends up deciding to take the full time position that her father offered him at the ranch. And they end up living. It was a good story. It was like a solid 4.5 stars. I think to me, it needed a little bit more like emotional depth to it for me to give it 5 stars, but I still enjoyed it like totally enough for me to buy the rest of the series. Um, and I think it just wasn't like one of like the yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Like I said, 4.5 stars. It just was not my favorite book of the week. But I still enjoyed it quite a bit, and I will be reading the rest of the series, so stay tuned for a review of that. But still, if you're looking for a good cowboy romance, I would still recommend this one. It'll still be on my list, but I am working my way. I'm just starting cowboy romance, so I haven't read a ton out there. So maybe I'll read more, and you guys will be like, "Oh, why did you read this one?" Great. But again, she's also another independently published author, like I mentioned. So go support an independently published author. I have to talk slower for you guys because I know I'm going to get complaints up there that I talk too fast. But yeah, if you want to support an independently published author in the cowboy romance sphere, I recommend this book. And I will be doing a review on the rest of the series when I do eventually read it, because I do have some other books on my TBR that I'm working through. But yeah, that is all for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss another brand new video from me. You can follow me at RomanceBLVD on Instagram and Threads, as well as Romance Boulevard Fully Spun on TikTok. As I'm filming this video, guys, I am one follower away from 1,000 followers on TikTok, and I'm so excited about that. It's just so cool to think about, like, what I know, like 1,000 followers is not a lot in the world of like TikTok, but like just thinking about 1,000 people all in one room just kind of like brings it into perspective, and it's still so cool. So yeah, that is all. Bye.